Hey, I don't know about you, but I am ready to model something right now. Not gonna get excited about it. Yeah! I did some work on this, and it's coming back together. Now, I didn't document this because I was just in the mood to build it. I'm not quite finished, but here's how I fixed the tubes. It's almost back together. Yay! Woohoo! Okay, so you can see here what I've got so far. What I ended up using was evergreen 7/32 tubing. Okay, so I got some right here that's not in focus yet. There we go. So I cut a piece of this down to the appropriate length. So I'm left with this piece of tubing. Now, I tried to take one of these things. Whoa, that is beat up. And slice it down. Didn't work. Went all crazy. Tried to take a number 11 blade and didn't work. Then I thought, how am I ever going to be able to just, I don't know what the term is, but kind of taper that off to make the side of the torpedo tube. And I thought, why not try to sand it? So I tried on just a piece on the table. Didn't work. Then I thought, I've got a belt sander. You gotta watch out for that. So I ended up with something like that. I ran it a little bit longer, but for demonstration purposes, I stopped there. I cut the end of this off a bit, just kind of made it into a point, but always keeping that little indent that's left inside the tube showing, so it can kind of end seamlessly onto the side of the boat. Okay, I ended up sanding this a bit more, cutting it off flat, and then I basically just stuck that in here. I whittled it and sanded it down until that fit right inside of that opening that I had. Did my best to get them both the same, and then just loaded it with Bondo putty. It was just like a crater there. And so far I've sanded that first coat of putty down, and now I've got to keep sanding it and kind of refine it. I will say one thing though. I know there's some kids watching the show. Just because you're young doesn't mean you're not capable, and it doesn't mean you're stupid, and it doesn't mean you can't do it. But if you're going to try to do this, I know some people are kind of building along, talk to your folks first before you start shoving your fingers into a belt sander. Because the belt sander isn't prejudiced. It doesn't care if it's plastic or wood or skin, it'll chew it. God loves you. And I'm having such a revelation of that now, and I've known it, you know, but God, the maker of the universe, He loves you. He created you. He loves you. He wants nothing but good for you. Truly. And it's so amazing to know that, and to really know it, not just to believe it. Believing is one thing, knowing is another. On the old Salzo version 3, you know, it's a big engine. It sucks a lot of air. It sucks a lot of air in space. Oh, George. Okay, so, yeah. It looks to me, after examining the studio scale kit, that there's like 3 variations. And, the third one's in the box, but you've got this top one that has kind of a long bar going through it. This has this kind of pattern, and the other ones must be for the bottom. They're a little simpler. Now, since this is a Red 6, and this is one of the reasons I chose Red 6, it allows for a little bit of artistic license because there isn't tons of reference on it. So far I've been sent 6 pictures of the original Red 6, which gives some clues to the paint job. Basically some clues. It's not super high quality pictures or whatever, but I'm going to stick to those when painting it, just to try to be as accurate as I can. Going to rebuild these engines, kind of sticking to this. This is the Red 5. So, whatever. I like the red 3 a lot, but we'll stick to, we'll kind of stick to that so much. Make it a little bit different because they all do vary slightly, right? For this job, we're going to be using toilet paper tube things. There was a gentleman on Starship Modeler probably a year, if not longer ago, that was doing an incredible job of accurizing this kit. Just such a nice, clean job. And unfortunately, he or one of his relatives got sick. I can't quite remember what happened. But during this build, I came across through an email, a friend sent all of the pictures that he was able to grab from that build. So I've been using those a lot along the way to do mine. And I wish I could remember that guy's name. He was doing a really killer job at this. But he rebuilt these engines using these toilet paper tube things. So that's what I'm going to do too. I'm going to use these to kind of replace that round piece, right? And then from the old Evergreen hobby stuff, this is like tin roof stuff. Yeah. This could be wrapped around, I hope. And just little bits and pieces of evergreen to kind of build up that, you get this, yeah. You get that shape, all the different texture and whatnot. The only thing I'm not sure how to do is to replicate that thruster bell in there. I don't have any thruster bells. So this week on DIY, a couple of people have mentioned doing adding a speed control to the Dremel. This is far from rocket science. I am no electrician, and it worked. I bought a dimmer for $5, a box thing for like $1.99. I made this really long because I wanted extension cords, but just a couple of ends for a couple dollars each and some cord. I guess you could probably do this for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, under $15 for sure. Now I'm not going to go through the hassle or through the whatever showing you how to wire this. The instructions are included, but it's really simple. You know, it's just an extension cord that is gapped by this dimmer, and it gives you a speed control for anything that you plug into it. And it works really good. So I had an idea this week about promoting the show offline, and I totally need your help. I'm sure you have a local hobby shop in your town, and I've created some posters. This is just a sample that I did. A poster that promotes the show, promotes the Life campaign, charity cause, and whatnot. I'm asking you if you'd please go to scalemodeladdict.com/downloads. Download a poster either in letter size or legal size, print it out on your printer at home, and next time you're in the local hobby shop, stick it up. If you got a few in town, stick a few up. And that would be a way of helping me promote the show offline. If you do that, send me an email and I'll send you a cool Scale Model Addict screen, not a screensaver, desktop wallpaper for your computer, just as a gift. Before we go, I want to thank Bernd, B-E-R-N-D, I'm not quite sure how to pronounce that, Bernd, at modelversium.de, a German site that's featured Scale Model Addict on the homepage and subsequently drove tons of traffic to the website. Thanks a lot, God bless you, I hope you have a great week. Now, why don't you do yourself a favor and shut off the YouTube and go model something?